one may say that's not teachable, but I think it is. And it just comes down to breaking down any barriers you have. If you were raised in a real tough environment, or, if you had something happen to you that really hurt, that's an opportunity to either A, go down a negative path and be on the defense and hide away, or whatever that looks like, or it's an opportunity to level up.
This is one I wanted to ask you. How does an entrepreneur become heart-centered? If they're not already, because I saw that you like to work with heart-centered entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So tell us what that means to you. I know what it means to me, what it means to you. And if they're not heart-centered, how can they get there? Heart-centered
is just, you care. You care about people, and you want to make a difference, and you're not just in it for yourself. And I feel like this is a controversial subject, but I feel like there is no such thing as good and evil. It's just there are people who are able to show love, and then there are people who are, who have been conditioned to be on the defense. And so when it comes to being heart-centered, I really just think it means, you are on some level, on some part of the path of caring about others, about wanting to do something more than just take. And that's what matters to me, because when I was in the music industry, there were so many people who would just take my kindness for weakness. I'm a people pleaser by nature. I care about people too much, and I give more than I take. And I'm even the type of person where the reason that I thrive in doing what I do with online business is because I'm great at marketing and sales to the masses, but one-on-one I'm just like, oh, I like you so much, here, just have it for free, right? So a heart-centered person really is just someone who cares. And one may say that's not teachable, but I think it is. And it just comes down to breaking down any barriers you have. If you were raised in a real tough environment, or if you had something happen to you that really hurt, that's an opportunity to either A, go down a negative path and be on the defense and just kind of hide away, or take it out on people, or whatever that looks like, or it's an opportunity to level up. And when I was younger, I was definitely influenced by the wrong crowd, and I was doing some stupid stuff when I was a kid. And I realized that at some point I had to figure it out. I had to change. So really heart-centered is just like you gotta care. That's what it comes down to.
Okay, and if they're not necessarily heart-centered, then it sounds like they basically need to start doing some work to kind of break down those internal barriers and figure out, because it's about service, right? So I think once you tap into that thing in yourself where you can serve humanity and not, as you said, take so much, that's when things start to open up for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if someone's listening who is thinking to themselves like, that sounds great, but right now in my life, I'm not doing that. Then all I say is, first of all, by loving others and giving to others and being a good person does not require you to give less to yourself. In fact, it allows you to give more to yourself. It's the same thing, like you say, the word service. One would think that if you were to go out to a soup kitchen and help some homeless people, that would be a day where you're kind of giving up your stuff that you should be doing, and instead only giving and not receiving. But then you go there and you realize, wow, I've received more than I think I gave today, because you're giving and you're doing something meaningful and you're getting so much back. And so, maybe if you're listening and you're like, I'd like to be more like that. I'd like to care more, but I don't. Then just challenge yourself. Give yourself a small challenge. Think about the person you care about most and think about how you are with them. Maybe give yourself a challenge to, smile at someone, or just do whatever feels right to you. It doesn't have to be cheesy. It doesn't have to be, too much. You don't have to commit to a whole life of something. Just try something that feels right. Send a text. Maybe set a reminder on your phone, and every morning, it goes off and it says, send a text to someone that you care about. One thing that I really love doing is I like to give people compliments that if I were to give the person to the right or left of them the same compliment, they look at me funny, right? Because it's so specific to the person. Right. It's like, you have this very specific, unique thing that you do, and this is how you do it, and just giving people feedback. And it's just like this feedback loop of positivity, or of good energy that happens. And it's like a drug almost, it's just, I get high off the idea of just connecting with people. And for instance, a perfect example is before the podcast, you said, hey, I'm going to say this on the podcast, but thanks for that voice note, the voice memo.
Nathen did something. I've been doing this 4 years plus. Nathen did something that no other guest has ever done, which was he sent me a message of gratitude yesterday or last night before this interview. And I think it just really speaks to who he is, what he's trying to do in the world. And I just wanted to publicly thank him and acknowledge that nice extension.
And before you said that, I was like, here, ready. I have a lot of respect for you. I listen to your podcasts, and I'm just like, okay, I'm ready. But then when you said that, I felt this warmth in me, and I was like, okay, we're gonna do this. Like I feel connected, and it was like a boomerang effect from what I had done, but also a boomerang effect from all the good that you've done. So it's kind of this loop. Yeah.